Today we are joined with, once a giant, always a giant as far as I'm concerned. So today we are joined with Georgia. You're a yellow jacket for life as well.
Yeah.
I think you know that. But today we are joined with Darren Waller, tight end, New York Giants, Raiders, but I'm just Giants, bro. We don't talk about other teams. You're a Giant for life.
That's fair.
Pleasure to meet you. We follow each other on the gram.
Saquon, I think, has some things to say about that. I don't know if he feels like being a Giant for life right now. I think he's an Eagle for life now.
Yeah, definitely. But Darren, thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
Pleasure to finally meet you. We've been following each other on social media for a few years. So it's a pleasure to have you in the studio with us today.
Yeah, and we appreciate the support you've been giving us over the years as well.
Absolutely.
I know you don't know much about this new segment, show, entity, platform. It is still very much new Rory and Maul, but we over, I don't know how many years, have talked to so many athletes, and all they want to do is talk about rap. They never want to
talk about it, or they want to rap.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've found that they usually have awful hip-hop takes, like some of the worst ever. So I am
But
curious.
they say the same thing about my sports take, so it's okay. But
we're finding a common ground here.
Right.
But I do kind of want to start at the beginning. I know you moved around a lot from Maryland to Colorado to Georgia. What were you listening to early on, especially in starting out in Maryland?
So I was born in Maryland. I was there for like a year, and then we moved to Colorado until I was like 4, so I don't even remember that time.
Okay.
I remember from Georgia, just all the way.
Gotcha.
And I remember my dad would play like Old Dirty Bastard in the whip. My dad's from Queens.
Oh, love it.
And,
Okay. What part of Queens?
Jamaica.
He was giving you that real culture.
Yeah. So it was like, and we came into the house or something, me and my sister, and we were singing like ODB lyrics. My mom was like, where the fuck are y'all hearing this shit at?
Yeah, culture.
It was ride with my dad, So, but he was like, New York hip hop. I know he like Gangstar a lot.
Okay. Oh, your dad's
Most Def.
He's a hip hop head.
Yeah.
Okay.
I stole his infamous Mobb Deep CD.
That's a good CD to steal.
I loved.
If you're gonna steal a CD, that's the one to steal.
Temperature Rising I used to love riding around.
Best Q-tip drums ever.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was early on for me. My mom loved Michael Jackson and all types of just everything. Man, they love smooth jazz, watercolors. They always go to jazz festivals and whatnot. So it was a wide range.
And your family is musical, right? Isn't your grandfather, great-grandfather?
My great-grandfather's Fats Waller was like a legendary jazz pianist. So
did you guys have a lot of instruments in the crib growing up, or?
they had us playing piano at like 4, taking lessons, and I was in band in middle school, and then it was like not cool to be in band once you're in high school.
Yeah.
And you playing
funny,
football.
But I feel like in the South it's probably cooler than up here.
What? Being in
the band, yeah.
Nah, you play sports in the South.
Yeah, it's football. Like, fuck you mean band?
Yeah,
like,
And he was probably
it's like, damn, bro, I kind of want
in 8th grade. So it's time to play ball.
Yeah.
But once you started like getting into junior high school, were you still listening to your pops like 90s hip hop shit, or were you starting to get more into what was happening in Georgia at the time?
I was getting into what was happening in Georgia. I loved Ludacris as a kid.
Same.
By my first 2 years of high school, I was riding around listening to fucking Gucci mixtapes all the time. But I still kept the love for like all the like Jay-Z Black album was big in rotation on my CD player. Kanye Graduation, Get Rich or Die Trying. Like there's a whole bunch of.
So on the verses, what side was you on between Jeezy and Gucci Mane?
I was trying to sit that one out because it was just like,
it was divided.
Damn, why we gotta pick, bro?
Yeah,
but I was probably leaned a little bit more Gucci, but it was tough to be like, damn, I gotta like not fuck with Jeezy.
That was such an interesting time, like that versus, because I think that versus I learned a lot about exactly how many people in Georgia. I always knew they fucked with Gucci. But that night I learned, I was like, oh no, it's a level that I had no idea of. I think you had to be from Georgia to understand exactly the difference between Gucci and Jeezy, as far as people from Georgia are concerned.
Yeah, like cult following, bro.
Yeah.
When I got to college, I started to understand more because, people from the South, for some weird reason, came up north to go to college. And they started explaining that Jeezy and Gucci shit to me as if it was Ja Rule and 50 Cent, and I thought they was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Then I got down to the South and was like, oh, I get it. My bad. I didn't realize that this was really y'all Jay-Z and Nas at the moment. Yeah. Dan, we're close in age, so I know we grew up on similar music. To me, Ludacris might be the most criminally underrated rapper of all time. Yeah. Based off his discography, no disrespect to Nelly. We saw what happened during COVID in the verses. Everyone's like, yo, Nelly's diamond. I agree, Nelly's the man, but you're not fucking with Luda. Luda cleaned him the fuck up.
Yeah.
Luda had been a personality, an actor, a lot of where I even see rappers going now, Luda was doing before. Luda was on the radio before he was a rapper. Luda to me is actually the blueprint, especially from the South, for a rapper. What was Luda like growing up in Georgia to y'all? Because in New York, to us, he was like a New York rapper. He was rapping his ass off over those Southern beats. It was an easier way to digest than, say, T.I., who came a little later that had more of a Southern accent, where Luda didn't.
Yeah, Luda was, I mean, talk about pregame. So my first pregame song was Roll Out, Ludacris. Like,
that's a pregame song.
First got a CD player, like every time. But I feel like for him, it was like the personality that he put on records. Because a lot of like rap is like tough bravado. Like, Ludacris would be funny. Like he talking about women. Like he's like, and wherever
slick talk. He had a lot of slick talk.
Whatever he does, and just like his wordplay and the tones of his voice, I was just like, it would make me laugh. Like most rap, I'm like, yeah, but like he would make me laugh. He would make me be like hype. Like it was just like something that he was doing. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking with him. Like he's just a personality, like you said.
And the way, like, of course, we bring up Missy, Busta, all these amazing visual artists, like their videos. But to me, when I was a kid, Ludacris had the best videos, hands down to me. That's what, like, we waited on Luda's videos.
You know, Luda definitely is one of those artists that pushed visually. He pushed his art to another level. He wasn't afraid to try different shit, to have fun, be funny, even make fun of himself, wearing the big sneakers and all of that. You know, he was definitely an artist that, looking back, where it was like, yo, he can really rap, but like he's not afraid to have fun either, though. But when he give you those records, it's like, yo, I don't know if it's too many dudes that can rap better than him. But he didn't. I don't think he got that respect because he was so animated. Yeah. And it's like, you know, in rap, you kind of have a hard time. We like who we can emulate. Like if I put on a song, I want to be able to rap like that. Right. You don't want to be too animated and rap like Ludacris, because it's like people gonna look at you like, yo, what's up with this dude? Is he okay? But when you listen to what he's saying, he's getting off. Like he's really getting his shit off. So I think it was just that he was, you know, he was having a good time. He, through his music, wanted people to have fun, dance. But I also respected Luda because he was, when the music called for it, and especially when he did features. Like when Luda was doing features, I think he went in there knowing, I'm clean. I don't care who else is on this record. I'm cleaning them up. They're gonna have a hard time rapping better than me. And that, I think that's why I like Luda a lot, because he had fun, but when it was time to get busy, he also could do that too. Took it there.
Yeah, he I actually have a funny Luda story that I've never told on our pod. Me and Aristotle, we did a video for Luda a while ago, and he pulled up to set driving a tour bus. Like he was driving the tour. He pulled up in the tour bus driving. I was like, all right, that's weird, but all right, I'm with it. And once we started talking to him more, he was like, yeah, it's not like a gimmick. I know everyone in Atlanta sees me driving around in this tour bus. I have lost $500,000 on every single tour because of the tour bus fees. And I just wanted to buy a tour bus so I could save my fucking money. And this is also the guy that has Fast and the Furious money at this point. This wasn't like early.
Right.
This is legacy Luda.
Right.
And he's still doing that. Like he also, on the business side, I know you joke around. We were really drinking Luda-Yak. I don't know if Atlanta, if you was at Georgia, we were drinking Luda-Yak.
You ain't do that.
2010, we was drinking, 100% drinking Luda-Yak.
Yeah, I didn't do the Luda-Yak. No. Wasn't my brand. I didn't do that.
But who were some of your other favorite rappers coming out of just Georgia, period?
Yeah, Jeezy, like I said, and Gucci. Like it was tough to see that war go down. Pastor Troy had bangers. That was probably it. Like, because I was like a blend. Those were like my South guys that got me in the door to like, then the new era was like who I really loved, like Thugs, Future, like seeing them from like live mixtapes era on up, which is like a treat. Like even Metro, like starting his own projects at like 19 years old, like seeing that whole rise.
Yeah. So, I mean, your pops playing you Old Dirty Bastard, Mobb Deep, etc. It wasn't a little difficult getting into Thug and some of that stuff? Just because you grew up on more boom bap type of rap?
I don't know what it was. I always had like an open-mindedness to music. Like I'm listening to like, I remember I had a vivid memory of crying when I heard this song by Daughtry when I was in middle school.
Okay.
Daughtry, bro.
Wow.
I'm listening to all different types, like any kind of music like can stoke up a feeling in me, or I love listening to it. So it's like, it wasn't just like one genre. It was like my cup of tea. It was like.
I feel like, did Daughtry start on an American Idol? Yeah.
Bruh. Home by Daughtry.
Why do I remember that? Like that was the one
banger, bro.
That's your shit right there.
That was your MySpace song?
Nah, bro. My MySpace song was Getaway Boys.
Daughtry is crazy. I would never have guessed you listen to Daughtry.
Man, yeah. I mean, I love even like the rock music from back in that era. Because I mean, I had like a lot of white homies back then, like All American Rejects.
Of course, yeah.
Oh yeah.
My Chemical Romances, bangers back there.
Yeah, that era of like alternative rock was incredible. I wish it continued on, or maybe I'm just out of touch. I feel like that whole genre is just got that
fire.
Alternative / pop rock.
I think it's funny. I think a lot of that has to do with TRL no longer being around.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of that helped. Like TRL helped kind of like push that into every home. Like, because like I said, if people look at us, I would never think you would listen to Daughtry or My Chemical Romance, but you probably watch TRL pretty much every day.
Yeah.
And that's how I got introduced to a lot of that shit, was watching TRL. So I think that kind of like killed the whole alternative rock wave.
What was your first ringtone?
Mike Jones back then.
I mean, you can't.
On a singular wireless Sony Ericsson flip phone.
Absolutely.
Banger.
I mean, naturally, yeah.
Yeah. I did a lot of
back then,
shit.
them hoes did not want me. Straight up.
That's hilarious.
It's funny that the ringtone would validate that. Like, I know it's not a hoe call.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all. It's definitely just the homies, the bro.
Homie.
It's the bro.
I mean, what were the girls listening to in high school with you? Because I was so much like on, not more like rap nerdy shit, because I was into Mike Jones and a lot of like more of the South shit that was popping, even snap music. But I was still very much in my own bubble of underground rap that didn't really relate to the pretty girls I was trying to like finger. Sorry to be explicit. It was high school, man.
Yeah. It's natural.
So that was always like a big disconnection when it came to music and women in high school for me. Did you run into that at all? Because you was raised on Old Dirty Bastard. They wasn't trying to hear that.
I feel like if you was in the Usher, Chris Brown side of things, like you was cool. You was in the right spot.
Yeah. So when you in playing sports, when you got into sports, who were some of the people that you definitely can attribute like a lot of your workout regimen to? Like, what was playing? Like, what music were you listening to before game days? What are the artists that you like before a game? I have to listen to this artist. This is the artist that gets me in that zone.
I feel like that's where like the trap music part of Atlanta started coming in. So it's like seeing the rise of, I mean, all through Flocka, Thug from the very, very earliest days, Future from the earliest days, were always in rotation. A little bit in there, like I said, Jay-Z, but that was mostly where like the Atlanta scene of music came in, was like, gotta be playing the drums before game day. And that was like what everybody in high school wanted to listen to.
So there's no R&B before game?
Nah, my taste before games evolved. Like once I'm in the league, like it depended on how I was feeling that day. There was times I went out there and I think there was a game where we played Jacksonville in like 2019. I had like 100 in the first half. I was listening to like Fred Hammond and Marvin Sapp before the game. Like, and then, but then there'd be some games where I'll listen to like piano music or like fucking chakra healing music. But then there's days where I'm out there and it's just straight, it's like West Side Gun or it's Lil Baby. Like it's just all over the place. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's the difference going into those games of wanting to go with healing music versus West Side Gun screaming boom, boom, boom as you run out to the field?
It's kind of how I wake up and feel that morning. You know, it's like most times people are like, all right, Sunday, they're ready to go. There's some days where it's like, I had a 200-yard game once. I woke up that morning and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna play a football game. I went out to warm-ups. I didn't even have pants on over my leggings. I looked crazy. But it's so those days I kind of temper my music around like how I'm feeling that morning. That'll have me, because you got to be calm when you go out there. You got to be like, have that edge to you, but at the same time you got to be calm because there's a lot of shit you got to process, a lot of shit you got to execute. Yeah. So niggas be too hype out there sometimes and forget they got to do a job.
Yeah. Okay. And I mean, when you're playing with the Raiders, because that just comes with, you know, even leaving Oakland and going to Vegas, they still have that reputation of having those crazy fans, death metal and shit. Was it tough trying to like warm up before a game and they're trying to cater to the fans rather than you as far as music? Because I've been to a few Raider games. It's just heavy metal and shit that's playing the entire time. That would annoy the fuck out of me.
Yeah, and the music is like, you can't even pick up on what they're trying to do. It's like, is this, like you said, is this catered to players?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, at least with the Giants, like Voila is DJing and shit, and it's cool. But those Raiders games, it's just Harley Davidson music the entire time.
But that's a different, I think the Raider, and you could probably speak to this, Darren, what is the culture like, the difference in the culture going from the Raiders organization to the Giants? Because Raider culture is a whole different animal. Like the shit that I see, I'm like, all right, I get it's football, but like some of these people, like they follow these fans to their homes and like they have Raider homes.
Yeah.
Like what is the difference in the culture and the environment like when you got to the Raiders versus the Giants? What was the culture change?
Yeah, those fans that you described, like they're outside the gate that you drive in every single day. There's dudes out there like on Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's like, where's your family, my boy? Like, like, damn, we had a janitor that came from Oakland to Vegas. He ended up getting in some trouble and they kicked him out. But he had like John Gruden portraits tatted on him, like Raiders,
the janitor.
The janitor, bro. Migo, shout out to Migo, man. I don't know where Migo is at, but
Migo, wherever you at, man.
He had the Raider shrine at his house. Like he would show us pictures. Like, yeah. So those fans are really crash. Like their whole body, they'll have a whole Raiders sleeve.
Did John Gruden ever see that? Like when he was in the bathroom taking a piss and the janitor was there, like, yo, John, check it out.
His shirt off and show John his chest while he's in the bathroom.
He would pull his shirt up and show the players. Like he would.
Oh, so he's a lifer. He's like somebody that has been in it. So they just kept him at the janitor position. They didn't want to like elevate him a little bit in the organization.
He didn't have the skills to be elevated to
more. So just let him mop.
He was working overtime to get those tattoos.
Yeah, he mopped with passion. Just do it with passion. I get that part. I feel
like if you're getting a John Gruden tattoo, that being a janitor at the Raider Stadium would be like the apex job.
You can't be like the CMO.
Yeah. If I have John Gruden,
that's the best job ever.
Yeah, like he just wants to be in the building. He's one of those guys that just let me be in the building every day.
Would take empty the clip in him. He'd take bullets for the Raiders.
Yeah. See, that's the type of fan base that I think is a little just too aggressive. I get football as an aggressive sport, but you see people like that, I love it, but it's like, watch him because we don't know what he's liable to do.
It's like Raiders, Eagles, the Jets to some degree are more like college football fans to me than they are NFL shit. Like, did you have any of that at Georgia Tech? Because people obsess over college football, I feel like, more than NFL.
Georgia Tech was a strange crowd. Like the average fan was like 50 plus. It's like a weird demographic. There's like Georgia Tech is probably the safest place you can ever go watch a football game.
Yeah, it's probably because like it's all the wild people are Bulldogs fans, I would assume.
Oh, Georgia
and then more of like the
so obnoxious.
Pretentious people would be like, I'm with Tech.
Yeah, I go.
They're downtown.
You got 48-year-olds fucking barking and shit.
Yeah.
Because you got there 2011?
2011. Yep.
What was going on in the city of Atlanta, club wise, music wise, at that point?
I mean, shit, we wasn't even really going to the clubs. We were going to these bars in Buckhead.
Okay.
Where they had like welfare Wednesdays. Like niggas was broke. There was no NIL.
Welfare Wednesday.
There was no NIL back then.
All those 50-year-old fans.
Our
no
NIL
boosters?
was you'd get on the bus to go to the game on Saturday. They give you $15. They said make this last till Monday.
$15?
So that's like McDouble, McChicken, Epic vodka, like plastic bottle.
Wait.
That'll hold me till Monday.
Wait, they gave y'all $15.
That's the NIL.
And said make it last.
Yeah.
$15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So y'all are your student athletes, you're selling out the arena on campus every weekend.
Yep.
Selling jerseys. What does that do to a player who is getting $15, family struggling back home? Obviously you have dreams and aspirations of going pro one day. What does that do for your mindset knowing like, okay, I have $15 to last me for 3 days. My family's back home struggling. Like, how does that motivate you as a player? Like, I got to make sure I'm doing what I do out here because I got my whole family I got to take care of, and this $15 a week ain't cutting it.
Well, I mean, it motivates you as a player, but it's also like, I'm just about to start stealing shit, my boy. Like,
yeah. Naturally, no. Makes total sense.
I'm about to just start stealing shit. This $15
put me in a position. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Got to start evaluating all licks possible.
But like seeing your jersey in the stands, knowing that people pay for that, knowing that the university is making money off of that, like that has to kind of piss a player off. Like,
yeah, it's like this
is crazy.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll get it right one day. But then now it's like, you see, I think it was Penn State. They had a young receiver. He caught a touchdown. He got up. This motherfucker had diamond teeth, and he's 18 years old. I was like, we swung that bitch to the other end of the spectrum now.
Yeah, but how do you look at that as a player who had your time when again it went from $15 to now a lot of these players coming in, they have these NIL deals who might not be better than Darren Waller was coming out of high school,
right,
going into college, and now you see these young collegiate athletes making all of this money, social media going crazy. What does that do to you? Like, damn, like I missed out on all of that because I was definitely better than this kid, and his NIL is fucking crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in a place now in my life where it's like I actually like love seeing them have that opportunity, you know, because but at the same time, I feel like there's certain character lessons you learn having like $8 in your bank account.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And not having that money, because like at 18, you get motherfuckers going in with M's out of high school, like they're the breadwinners. It's just like mom telling you to take the trash out. You like, I'm bringing the money on in. Like, it's a different environment, but
that's a cool perspective though, because I really would feel like, yo, you guys owe me back pay on all this shit. Like, there's no way that I did all this. And it's the same way like when people have been locked up for weed for 50 years, now it's legal. And it's like, yo, let me the fuck out. I feel it's the same thing. That is an interesting perspective. I have a way lesser version of that when I look at college. I went to like a commuter school, and I think about if I would have went to a school in the South, it would have been a better experience, but there's no way I would have been kicked out in the first week. Like, I don't know if I'd ever stay focused. And I think about that with certain college athletes. Would you have stayed as focused if you had money like that?
I don't think so, because I mean, I'm full-blown drug addict, alcoholic at this time. Like,
you wouldn't have bought gold teeth. It would have been a whole different thing.
No, it would have been like
a brick.
Yeah. Shaving that bitch every day. But yeah, it would have been, I probably wouldn't have made it out of college. I barely made it out as it was. You know, I fucking got into an accident going the wrong way, just fucked up behind the wheel, like just shit like that happening in college. It's like, you would have gave me $100,000, fucking $1 million. Like, cause if I had $100 in my bank account, I'm like, shit, we up? What we doing tonight? Like,
that's a great way to look at it. Like, you knowing who you are as a person and knowing if you had access to this money and things like that, like, you know, it probably would have fueled a bigger animal that you have. You know what I mean? The NIL thing, I don't know. I'm kind of, while I do like the fact that players are making money in college, because obviously these universities are making billions of dollars off of these players, I kind of feel like, just looking at it, it's kind of watering down the competitiveness.
Oh yeah. Totally agree.
To me, even to an extent, the talent. Like, I look at a lot of these, specifically these basketball players in college, and you know, you see all of these their highlights on social media. They have all these clips, and once House of Highlights post them, you know, it's like they social media goes crazy. But then I look into like, I'm looking at a highlight. Everybody looks good on the highlight tape, right? Sure. I'm looking at the highlight. I'm like, damn, who is this kid? Like, yo, he look like he could be the next one. But then I go and I look at what he's averaging. I'm like, he's only averaging 8. His highlight tape look like he's averaging 35.
That's a fire ass 8.
But then exactly, the 8 look crazy when it's
social media manager.
Yeah, it's 2 breakaway windmill dunks, or you know, it's a fucking 80-yard reception. Right. But it's like, that was his only catch for like 3 months though. Like,
yeah, you make a great point, man. It's I feel like for the young dudes, it's like the priorities are changing as opposed to it's getting a bag and being blown up on social media, as opposed to like developing and being excellent at your craft. And it's like, how can you blame them? That's what's in their face, is what's being shown as that's most valuable. So it's like, like I said, there's lessons you learn in college. Like, if you're not the starter, like and back in the day, you just grind and wait your turn and then earn your spot. In time, that's teaching you valuable lessons. But now it's like, if they don't put ketchup on your sandwich in the cafeteria, niggas is transferring. Like, it's a whole different game. Like, any sign of adversity, they're trying to go somewhere else. And it's like, they want the instant gratification of like a big play that goes viral, as opposed to like, I never had any major plays, but it's just like the consistency that I was able to develop helped me to build a career. And I don't know if that's really on their minds.
Yeah. And I think even just getting into that transfer portal has become easier with social media, because it's more accessible to get, even if you were a backup, to have a few highlights, you can pass those off easily to another coach, where that was way more difficult. Like, thinking about transferring if you was just a backup was very, very difficult at one point.
Yeah.
Now you could just start sending shit out the clip, like, hey, look at this. I'll go in the portal and figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, you used to have to sit out a year if you went somewhere. So it's like, it's a big decision transfer. Now motherfuckers just going right into school and putting the uniform on and stepping out.
Yeah.
I watched a few interviews of you over the last few years. And one thing I do admire about you is you're very self-aware. You're very aware of who you are. You have no problem speaking about your highlights and your lowlights. Yep. And I think that's very admirable. A lot of people like to speak about when things are great and all, you know, they highlight the dope shit. Yeah. But I've noticed you're the type of person that you don't mind talking about exactly who you are. You're unapologetic about who you are. Where is Darren Waller today when it comes to, number one, mental health, physically you look like you still can go. You still can play. But where's Darren at mentally as a man?
A lot more at ease these days, I would say. For like most of my life, and towards the end of my career, I feel like it was just like I'm entertaining, I'm good at this, but I'm like, how much am I choosing to be here? It's kind of like I'm like putting the mask on of like, yep, I'm loving doing this shit. Like I'm here. Like you can't just be like, I don't want to fucking be here. Like, but so it was just kind of dealing with that. And I don't know, I feel like most of my life I was trying to fit this image of who the world wanted me to be. And I feel like it just started to crumble and just eat away at me. And then it's like, you turn to so many different things to just try to cope with that shit. And now it's like, I'm able to finally be like, yeah, like I don't want to entertain anymore. Like I kind of want to express myself more through art and just figure out what the fuck I want the rest of my life to look like and walk away. Whereas before I would never make a decision like that, especially if it meant the loss of a lot of people's approval. I would never make a decision like that, but to, I guess, develop the courage to make a decision like that and go through some, real life shit over the past year. It's allowed me to be like, all right, like, I feel like I'm getting closer to figuring out, all right, what do I want my life to look like? Because I don't want to keep getting to these places where everybody thinks like, man, his life's got to be great, where I'm behind the scenes like, I'm putting up the smile, but it ain't really, my life ain't hitting like I want it to.
You're not happy.
Yeah. Do you think football was directly connected to your substance abuse early on?
In ways, yeah, man. I feel like some of the lowest points, like my first 2 years of high school, like I was really small. I had big ears, big feet. Like I was getting roasted. Like I wasn't playing on the team. So it's just like, fuck, like I don't know what I'm going to do. But then I started to get, right around the time I started using and I got bigger and started being on the team. So it's kind of tied together. It's like, oh shit, this is the recipe. Like this is how I just, calm down, take the edge off.
Yeah.
And it's kind of realizing how like addictive thinking works. It's like the highs that you get from football and like making a play and like everybody's like watching you and like reporting on you and all that stuff is like, I don't know what else could really compare to that. So it's like feeling those is like, I want to feel that shit again. And it's kind of like that addictive personality was in football too, because it's like the whole grind, the whole total picture of what it means to be a football player. I didn't love all of it. I loved being out there and getting into a flow and making plays and being like, I cannot be stopped today. Like, period. Like that's an unmatched high. So I feel like that's what I was kind of doing throughout my football career, because it's like, there's a lot of times where I'd be like uninterested or like just kind of just like, like I'm here, like I'm gonna give my best effort, but
yeah, it's different versions of dopamine at the end of the day.
Facts.
Did it get, I'm sure it did get much worse when you got to college and just having the access and probably no supervision when you were in college with the substance abuse with football?
Oh man, yeah. I remember, your parents come help you move in. They're like, all right, son, like.
And you're like, really? So you just not here?
You gotta take it from here. As soon as my parents walked out, it's like at the same time, like some of the dudes that were sophomores down the hall came in with an Everclear bottle and put it on the table and was like, what we doing? I was like, I'm with the shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Parents
this is where I, I can fit in doing this. Like,
We had a friend of the show, Ashley Nicole Moss, on the other day, and I was telling her, I was like, I have this thing where, I don't club anymore, but back when I used to club, whenever I saw football players coming to the club, I would leave. Because y'all have this certain aggression. First of all, y'all might walk in with no shirt and just all your jewelry on, number one. Like, I know you have teammates that you can remember. I
just had an epiphany because there was me and my roommate in college, shout out to Ant. We would be like a couple of the only football players they would let in the frats, because we would be like more chill, like we just trying to smoke a little bit, like drink, like we not trying to come in here and be like, this my shit.
That's the shit I'm talking about.
But we would be like, yo, can we bring the teammates through? And it'd be exactly what you just described. And they'd be like, y'all can't bring these.
Because y'all just know y'all stronger than everybody in here. Right. And I think football players know that. Like I told Ashley, I said, football players have this helmet thing because people don't know their faces because they have helmets on all the time.
They gotta let you
know. When they get in the public, it's like, yo, I press 380, this, whatever, whoever want to do something. Like, fam, we in here listening to R&B. Like, how you coming here with no shirt on and you ready to fight and body slam everybody? But you can relate to that because obviously people will say the same thing about you and your teammates. Like, y'all are cool. Y'all seem to be the cool football players.
Right.
The rest of your homies, leave them outside of the frat. We don't want that. Right. What is that? Is that because y'all are just so aggressive in nature for what y'all do for a living? that y'all carry that on into like, I call it civilian life, because we're just civilians. I don't press 380. I watch you on Sunday, but I'm not trying to get into a tussle with Darren Waller in the club. I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, I gotta think of it from the mindset of like football player, like our whole life we're being rewarded for imposing our will on people and being celebrated for it. Like we love the way you just take over and dominate. And so it's like, it's hard for a lot of people to flip that switch on and off. It's like any type of environment I'm in, I need to assert my dominance in this environment. And so that's why it's like, I mean, even like, I don't even want to condone anything that like a Ray Rice situation. Yeah. It's like when put into a jam or a spot where your body, like your nervous system gets activated, it's like, you're like, all I've done my whole life and succeeded in is just like, being aggressive, fighting my way out, or like, and so it's like that's embedded. I feel like in so many guys to where it's like they go into environments like I gotta let y'all know. Yeah, like, that's when I exit. What time? As soon as the DJ shout out, yo, so and so the defensive lineman, I'm like, yo, I'm out of here. Yo, y'all have a good night. Peace. That's just me. You know what I mean? No disrespect, but once I hear the D lineman is in there, I'm like, yeah, I'm out, man. Couple wide receivers, cool. Tight ends, cool. The offensive guys seem to be a little cooler than the defensive guys. Right. In the club, in civilian life. Yeah, you hear linebacker, it's time out. I'm going home.
Well, I mean, outside, I think ego just in general, too. You being in Atlanta at one point, then Baltimore, then Vegas, then New York. Those are like 4 insane club cities. I'm sure you ran into a lot of rappers, or let's say pharmaceutical people that are used to controlling a club, and then an NFL player walks in, and that tends to have some type of clash that I've seen in the past.
Oh yeah, the bottle wars.
Yeah. And, have you been through any of that in the 4 cities that you were in while you were a star?
I've seen it a little bit. I've never really been too much of a club guy, like here and there. Once I got sober, I kind of just fell off. But yeah, I've seen it's all that. People want to challenge the football players. Like I can get bitches in here too. Like it's like that game is wicked.
What's the craziest shit you've seen a teammate do in a club? And when did you know your teammate was filthy rich? Because every player has that moment where you like, I'm making money, but he's making money.
I had never been in the club where it was the big money dudes was in there throwing like, I heard like stories of like Mike Wallace, like 30 in the club was nothing.
Yeah. It's a regular night.
Yeah, light day. Yeah. But I had never actually been in there when that was happening. Like if the times I've been to the club or been to like a strip club or whatever, it's like, I spent $3,000 on a section once. Like I'm just one of the niggas like, I'm not finna be in here playing this game with y'all.
Right.
What was it? Vince Young or Steve McNair? Someone spent like $40,000 at Applebee's, and I was like, all right, man. Applebee's?
That's fiscally impossible.
It was a headline.
40 grand at Applebee's.
Maybe it was 20 grand. It was something insane. It was either Vince Young or Steve McNair. It was definitely a Titans quarterback.
But they got $10 meals.
Yeah, like 40
I thought he just bought the franchise. I didn't understand
40 grand is the franchise. Like you can have this. If I'm the manager at Applebee's and somebody comes in and run up a 40,000, sir, you can have this entire establishment for 40 grand.
We need an explanation.
You would spend thousands of dollars at TGI Fridays.
Oh, it's TGI Fridays. Okay.
Vince Young.
TGI Fridays had a run.
Because of Vince Young.
Yeah.
They kept him moving.
He kept the lights
on. When you first got to the Ravens, was Baltimore club music kind of an eye opener? Was that a weird situation?
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. With that.
Oh, yeah. You didn't know how to swing that shit. Didn't know how to do anything.
Nah, I know nothing about that.
I've talked to a lot of people that just end up as athletes in the DMV area, and when they have to hear go-go in any Baltimore club, they're like, I think I want to get traded. This is the craziest shit I've ever heard.
Speaking of that, who is a teammate that you can remember for having the absolute best taste in music and the worst taste in music? Like you get in the locker room, you like, oh, here he go with this shit.
You know exactly what you're going to get from any football player from the state of Louisiana.
Boosie?
No, the new YNs, like the
okay.
It's just straight young.
Yeah, what's the Rob 49s and
the whole line, which is like, I mean, it's further what we're about to go do. It's great. Yeah. It's great music, but it's like they'll come in. It'll be 6 a.m. and it's like, dog, we need some like some soul in your life, bro. Like, let's give your spirit a rest, bro. Like, so
how does that work in the locker room though? Of who's going to control the music?
Whoever get it first, bro.
Is that how it is? So it's like it's just a sound system for the entire locker room? Or is it like each locker, I have my little Beats pill and I can listen to my shit?
So the new facility at Vegas, they had like you can control the whole locker room with.
So somebody get the aux?
Whoever gets to the aux first. But then there would be times like in the Oakland locker room, that dude named Spook, he would have his own speaker in his locker, and he would be doing like kind of like a little like block party type shit, and like he would make the rookies rap, and would just be in there hosting. He was and
I like that.
So it's you get a whole lot of different environments.
To me, instead of giving the game ball, it should just be here's the auxiliary cord.
Yeah,
whoever played the best, here you go.
That's like that has to be like an honor to be like for the team to be like, yo, Darren, you got the aux cord. What do you play first if you get the aux cord? And it's the biggest game of the season. You got the Chiefs. You got the Chiefs.
Fuck. What's a great beat? I feel like the best pregame beat of all time might be the Family Ties, Baby Keem.
Okay.
Yeah. Something about horns.
Okay.
Is like, it's go
time.
Get
ready. Something's great to happen.
That'd probably be the first beat I'm playing.
Okay. I feel like when I was in high school, We Ready, I think it was Bubba Sparks and Archie or some shit. That was the go-to any football game. No matter what school you was playing, they played that first. That might be like top 5 football anthems to me.
Yeah. I remember fucking coming up in Georgia, Pastor Troy.
Yeah. Anything Pastor Troy is going off at a football game.
Yeah.
And
vice versa, we'll have a nigga ready to just black out.
we have a new label mate. We shout out to the Volume. We're with the Volume now. Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Where does Shannon rank on your all-time tight end list?
Oh man, Shannon Sharp was tough too.
Not according to Skip, but
I don't know if he's top 5, but that cannot be take it as an insult whatsoever.
So who's your top 5? If
Kelsey's got to be in there. Gronk's got to be in there.
Gronk.
Antonio Gates has to be in there.
Got to be there.
Who else? Off numbers, you got to put Jason Witten in there, and you got to put Tony Gonzalez in there.
I'm not mad at that 5.
So, and then after that, I mean, a dude that made me think that I could play tight end with my build, because I played receiver first, Jimmy Graham, when he was on the Saints, was
Jimmy's nice.
Different.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I could make an argument for Shannon Sharp at 6.
Right outside the top 5.
It's so many, a lot of good tight ends. I feel like I'm leaving some people out probably too with who I just named.
No, that 5 is solid. Shannon, just from watching the game, Shannon is in my top 5 though. I like Antonio Gates, but I think I go Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
Before Antonio Gates though.
Yeah, I saw more of Antonio Gates with my age. I caught like the very tail end of that Broncos team with Shannon Sharp. Antonio Gates was the man.
It was different.
I was
never played football.
Like he was out there running like a 4.3 up the seam as a tight end. He was different.
Foul, bro.
No, he was. Listen, that 5 is incredible. But my personal, I don't think I can name 5 tight ends better than Shannon Sharp.
I'm not mad at that either.
Yeah.
What was that transition like going from wide receiver to tight end in the NFL, not college? Like that's a whole different monster to change position.
Yeah. So I feel like there's some solid vets at tight end in Baltimore. Like we had Ben Watson, who played in the league for a long time. He was kind of there, like giving me some pointers. And then like pass game, being a receiver, I just had to learn how to like navigate, because now you're trying to gather away at D linemen and linebackers, and they're trying to fucking hit you and shit. But it was the fucking run blocking. This was 2016. We had Terrell Suggs. At the time, Matt Judon was a rookie, who's an all-pro now. Elvis Dumerville, I don't know if you remember who that is. Then he was an all-pro with the Broncos. Who else was there? Zadarius Smith was a rookie. He was in my class. And I'm having to block these dudes every day, and they're fucking caving me into the backfield. Like anytime they run a run play behind me, like there's like if you run like a wide zone play, you basically just gotta like keep him at the line of scrimmage. But they're so strong, and I'm just like new at this. I don't know how to block in this setting. They're driving me 5 yards in the backfield. The run play can't even get started. They gotta cut back and do all some crazy shit. But it was like going through that period was like kind of broke me in to like, all right, I have to do this, because if I only come in on passing downs, they're gonna be like, oh, all this nigga does is catch. But you gotta learn to be out there 90-something% of the snaps, so they can't pick up on the offense's tendencies.
Right.
So yeah, you gotta hold your own out there. But that was a good time for me.
Speaking of that, who was the first player, or when was the first time in the NFL that you got hit and you started reconsidering this line of work?
Well, I didn't reconsider. It was Dante Whitner. You remember him?
Yes.
He played for the 49ers. He was like one of the last breed of safeties that's like, you come over here, I'm knocking your shit 100%. Off.
Right.
No flag.
And yeah, I ran we ran like a play action rollout. I'm running an over route across the field. And I'm like, you could see stuff out of your peripherals, but I think he was like in the deep half. So I'm like, I didn't even really feel him there. I'm like, oh, this is up. Like I catch this, I'm turning, fuck. Hit me in my chest and I got a concussion. Because my neck just went. Like the crash dummy.
How your own neck give you a concussion?
Like the crash dummy commercials.
Yeah.
And like my shit was whipped and then I hit the ground and I'm on like if you're looking at the field from like a bird's eye, I'm on the numbers on the right side. Our sideline was all the way on the other side. I crawled to like the midfield logo. I was like, I got to get up. For my own pride, I got to get up. And then I went over to the sideline and I was just like, take me to the locker room.
Yeah.
Like, cause usually they get you right there and they try to evaluate you for concussion and most things be like, I'm staying in the game. I was like, I'm cooked.
No.
Take me.
I diagnosed myself. My whole brain rattled.
I missed the next game the following week.
Okay.
Cause I was still having for 4 days. I'm like, I can't be in the room. I'm sitting in this lights, bro. I'm cooked. Like,
did he at least like check up on you? Did he reach out to you?
This is my first game. Like I started that game and so I'm running routes and he had covered me on some and I'm like getting loose because he wasn't like the best coverage safety. Like, he was good enough, but I got him on a couple routes and I called myself chirping at him.
Okay.
And then
he heard you.
The only thing I remember was him standing over me like I don't remember the words, but it was like you should have known better.
You couldn't hear shit, but you saw him. Yeah.
Should have known better. See the mouth moving.
Who's the best shit talking defensive back in the league that you had to deal with?
From when I played, it was I never experienced Richard Sherman in person, so but from just the audio clips. But Tyrann Mathieu, my God, that motherfucker was activated.
Let you hear it.
Activated shit talking.
And I feel like it must suck as a tight end because you have to deal with the D-line shit talking, then sometimes the linebackers, and then always the DBs.
Yeah, and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Okay.
Whoo.
Yeah, whenever a nigga do that after you say his name.
Crash out. Man.
Who was worse, D-line linebackers or DBs when it came to that?
DBs have the biggest, like you say, like you go into the club and it's like D-line, I'm out.
Yeah.
The craziest egos are DBs, which you kind of have to play defensive back. Yeah. That's the hardest.
I understand.
That's the hardest outside of quarterback.
It's the stupidest position.
It's like I have a tie with like left tackle. But playing DB in the league, you got to have delusional confidence.
Yeah.
Because a nigga could cook you and it's like, that doesn't mean you're trash. Like these niggas are running 4-3s and can stop on
and they're running forward.
Right. Yeah, and you're right. Yeah. So DB is, you got to be delusional. So I'm not even mad at them niggas for even acting like that. You got to.
So Darren, let's talk about your music career a little bit. Let's talk about you making music.
I came out the gate hating because he got a West Side Boogie feature before I did.
Yeah, how did
that's my man too. I'm like, damn.
Boogie is family. How did that feature come about?
Shout out to my boy Cali and I know Junior over at LVRN.
Yep.
Yeah.
I played JV basketball with Justice too.
Really?
But yeah.
Don't say that because Justice already think he like super nice and ball.
JV.
So.
I played ball with Justice before. He's much better than I expected.
Pre-dreads.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played basketball with Junior all through high school.
Okay.
And, so reaching out to him through my boy Cali, like it was pretty easy to set up. He was accessible and happened smoothly. I felt like he was a perfect fit for the record.
So you actually was looking forward to getting out rap because Boogie can go. So you welcome that.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Like, yeah, for sure. Like I'm like it would be an honor to make music with people that I respect their craft and listen to. So it was, yeah.
When did you make that decision that you wanted to go full music? Was it before retirement? Was this something that was always sitting there? Like as soon as I'm done with this NFL shit, I can finally fully focus on this.
Yeah, I mean, I was just excited about devoting more time to it. I don't know if I'm an artist that is like full-time, like every day in the studio. I feel like I got to have like experiences that kind of motivate me to write. It's a regular thing, but it's like not every day. But I am grateful that I have more time to do it. I've been making music since 2015, so it's not like I'm just like now like I'm gonna make music. It's like some people knew about it, some people didn't. I was dropping. But yeah, I'm excited to have more time to do it and express myself and see what this pocket of my life has in store for me as an artist. 'Cause I feel like there's, some kind of journey for me here, and it's what I feel like I should be doing and want to be doing right now. So I'm just like fuck it.
I hear that. Did you ever try to battle anyone in the locker room?
Nah, I kind of learned. That's kind of what started my career. Was in high school, dudes on the team would put on an instrumental. Ice cream paint job at the time was a favorite.
Go to freestyle.
And we'd freestyle and dudes could flow. Like I could give you 2 well thought out lines, but then it's like my brain is moving so fast that it's just like hindering me from just relaxing in the moment.
Yo, having 2 bars and that's it is crazy. Like,
I'm having 2 Kendrick like Pulitzer Prize lines, and then it's like can't go anymore.
Nah, because once the ice cream paint job instrumental comes on, 2-3 people start rapping. I could come up with like 2 to 4 great bars in the moment, and then I'll rap them, and then I'll stop and be like, I didn't think this through. Like,
you'd be like,
now what? It's over. I got that off. Now what?
Because they even look at you like, all right, cool, that was cool 4, and then you just like, all right, you know what? I'm
gonna go get ready.
From there, I'm like, I feel like if I wrote some shit, like I might be all right.
Yeah.
And that's how I started making music. Just off of that.
Okay.
Did you keep it to yourself at that point, or
the first 2 years of making music, I kept to myself. It was like right after I got drafted into the league. They had the rookies in the hotel. I had GarageBand pulled up. I was rapping into the iPhone earbuds, the wired ones, and into GarageBand and just like ripping beats off of, and just went for 2 years without knowing. And then I went to a studio back home. There was a dude that was on the football team, was a few years older than me. He had a studio at his house. And I was rapping there. And then one of my homies made beats and found out. And he was like, nah, we got to lock in. And then from there, it was just like, been creating for almost 10 years now.
Is there more athletes that do rap or more focused on music than we think?
Yeah, it's a lot of dudes love it, man. A lot of dudes, it's a good balance. Like for me, I'd been doing it the whole time. It's like, it honestly like contributed to my career because it gave me that balance. Like when I stepped out of the building, it's like I can go home and cook something up, and it like takes me out of this performance mindset, allows me to just relax, and then I can pour back into it more the next day because I've got something that I'm looking forward to after. But yeah, nobody was really dropping. Like I remember 2019, I was like, I dropped my first project, like I was out of the league and suspended. And but 2019 I dropped, I was like, I'm just gonna do this because like I'm the best player on the team right now. Like it's not hindering my craft anymore. I'm just about to drop it. And then I think from there, like, I don't know, people maybe felt more comfortable. I don't want to say like I'm the only pioneer of this, but it's like nobody was really dropping now. Athletes just like dropping whenever they feel like it.
I think Arian Foster.
I remember his album. It was tough.
He could rap. Yeah, he could rap. For real. Like he surprised me. I went into it like, all right, let me not go in with judgments, but I didn't think it was going to be as good as it actually was. He was confident with that shit too. Right. I appreciate that athletes go into it taking it serious. Yeah. Where others will, see it as a lick post career shit. Right. But I do see that you are taking it serious. Have you taken the comments from music more to heart than the NFL comments, like post game shit? Because it is like you're bearing your fucking soul out on records, and maybe a comment may hurt a little bit more than, yo, my parlay didn't hit.
People will come at you crazy. Like, but I kind of get used to it from football a little bit, but now it's like, I don't really give myself access. I got the fucking light phone. I got people that run my socials, so it's like I'm not even
looking at this shit,
getting access to it. I know what's probably out there. There's a natural resistance of like, nah, bro, like I know you as this. Yeah, fuck is you doing that? Right. Yeah, which is like this is why the world we live in. This is why the Pauline here. You busy writing rhymes. Writing this bullshit. Get out there and run some routes.
But I feel like even outside of the parlay shit where it affects people's lives, you putting out the Who Knew record is about your life. Yeah, that to me is way more brave than going out on the field and expecting some commentator or some fucking fat ass fan to comment on what you're doing. Right. Like, was that a whole process in your brain to even put that out?
Not really.
Because you knew what people was going to tie it to, and like it's just going to be a whole
For me, it was like it got created, and it was like I really fuck with this, and then it's like I feel like the mix up was I didn't give any context to what the record was. People were probably like, oh, like my chick stabbed me in my back. It was like the song was called Who Knew Her Perspective. Yeah. So the meaning behind the song, people write from different perspectives. Of course. I'm like, I recognize the patterns in my relationships are kind of all the same. So the thinking was, if the girl had the pen and wrote me a song, what would it be? And so, and then in the disconnect was in the video, I'm really the girl that's experiencing the pain, like stepping into her shoes. It's not me like being stabbed in the back. Yeah. She put the post out and was saying like, yada yada yada. So it's like I'm not defending myself. Like this is what happened. I'm just expressing my art, and people were probably took it a million different types of ways, but that's kind of the risk you run putting shit out there.
Of course. So,
you had you were married. You divorced now. You were married to WNBA star Kelsey Plum. Who is the better shooter between you and Kelsey? Because you play basketball. Have y'all ever went in the gym?
Me.
It's not.
Bro, she is out shooting most niggas, bro. Like, let's NBA, wherever. Yeah. I'm not finna.
No fucking way is he a better shooter there.
But what does that do? What does that do for the? Because you're an athlete. You're competitive.
Right.
Both professional athletes. But what does that do for the ego now if you and, Kelsey are in the gym and y'all shooting against each other and she blows you out? Like, what is the conversation like on the ride home after leaving the gym?
It's you do this shit every day. I don't, period.
I'm happy I sort of kept up.
But you know how we are as men though. Like I don't care if wifey is a WNBA star. Like if I played in the local rec league, I feel like I should outshoot my wife.
It's not a regular.
But I'm just saying though, the ego though.
Maul would take it on the football field to run routes. Like, I'm gonna show you.
That's what you should have did. Like,
ego,
absolutely. You seen Love and Basketball. Like, absolutely. This is what we gotta do. Your Darren Waller Foundation.
Yeah.
Talk to us about that.
Yeah, which I think is super important. And I commend that.
I was approached with the opportunity to start that in 2020. We've been really just giving people access to treatment, to go to 30 days in rehab, to have aftercare, sober living, because the league sent me to treatment for free. It was like $65,000 for where they sent me for 30 days. But that shit changed my life. So it's like, I'm in a position now to give and serve. Like, I feel like it's important for me to pass this on. So that foundation's been going for 5 years now. We've sent, I think the number's like 72 people through treatment. It's kind of crazy, like not even thinking I'd ever be back in the league. And now I'm here and using my influence to help these people, get back on their feet like I got back on mine. So
is it tough to talk about your lowest lows with them?
Not really, because I look at them and I see me. Yeah. And that's why I feel like I try to be, like you was talking about, like more open, because a lot of people probably look at athletes or people that are successful and think, man, like they're so high up I can't even touch them or access them. Where it's like, nah, bro, like my mind is crazy just like yours. Like I got emotions. I have, tough times. Like I got family issues. I got whatever it may be. Like I'm more like you than you think. Like all I ever did was just continue to invest in my craft, and life somehow got me here. But there's nothing that you can't do, no hole you can't get out of. That's the kind of message that I feel like I'm trying to get to people, because that's real life. I can get up here and be like, yeah, nigga, I got no problems. Everything's great. Like, I'm not giving an authentic message to people that can help them through their day to day. So I'm just trying to be as real.
And I think substance abuse ends up getting a weird rap because they may associate it with like fiend shit or bum shit or whatever, not realizing that it is people that you see on TV that have the same exact issues that someone else may have, or even people that just work corporate jobs may have substance abuse. What would you say is the first step to somebody that's thinking about getting help but can't really figure out how to do it without feeling embarrassed?
There's got to be an awareness of like where I'm currently at. Like no reservations, no like ego involved. Like it's got to be like, how do I get the most authentic picture of where I'm at? Because if I'm still delusional in some way or in denial, like there's no way I can be helped. Yeah. And there's got to be a point to where you get so tired of what's been going on. Because for me, like I got to crash and burn for me to be like, all right, I'll change. Like I'll do something different.
No, I'm similar with that.
Yeah. So it's like getting to that place of like, I'm really done. Not like it's like, nah, bro, like help me.
Did you have that rock bottom moment that was like, this is it? I thought it was this rock bottom moment before, but nah, this is the rock bottom moment.
Yeah. I mean, I would always say before, like ODing was the biggest rock bottom, but I would say, probably last year was probably even more like being like, man, I don't even want to be playing this game anymore. Like, this marriage is just deteriorating. Like and I feel like I'm still trying to put forth this image like everything's great. Like, so I've repeatedly hit this wall. Like the root of the problem still hasn't totally been addressed. Like I've just, you know, kind of seen a lot of success and a lot of cool moments and highs along the way, but there's still something that's unaddressed here. So it's like coming to that realization. It's like, fuck, bro. Like I've been sober for 7 years. And I feel like I've just been spinning, my tires just been spinning in the mud here. I ain't really been making no progress, like I'm on a fucking hamster wheel.
Right.
So I would say that was probably more of a bottom than ODing was, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. What would you say to a young Darren Waller first going to college, like, and then looking at where your life is at now? What would you say to Darren back then today?
I would say you got to define what it is you want and who you want to be, and not be overtaken by the current of what the world wants you to be. Because I feel like I succeeded a lot at who I thought the world wanted me to be. Right. Whether it was like being the ringleader, getting fucked up in college or in football and like all these things. I'm like, all right, I'm who you guys want me to be, but boxes are checked, but it's not a fulfillment like deep within, like on a soul level. So it's like figuring out what you want, and it may not be highest paid, number one, all these things at what it is you really want to do. But it's like, if that really is what is filling your cup up and allowing you to just like make the most authentic impact you can, like that's the life that's fulfilling. Like we're kind of being fed if you go by these metrics, you're going to be fulfilled and life's going to be great. And it's like, I'm one of those people that's like, I've checked all those boxes and that's not necessarily the case. So I would tell him like, trust who you are. Don't feel like you got to abandon that for fitting in, because a lot of people you're trying to fit in with are crashing out. Yeah. Right after high school, So
and they don't really care about you. Like trying to fit in with people. And it's like, they don't even really.
They still worry about themselves too, right. and probably thinking the same things that you're thinking. And you think they're watching you. They ain't really caring.
Yeah. So what's the plan now that you have Who Knew out? We getting a full album? What's it looking like?
Yeah, definitely an album at some point. My boy J-Rod I've been cooking up with, who's my engineer, and he's also an artist, is really helping me elevate my sound. We're gonna drop a project together. And
you guys have a record out now together, right?
Yeah, it's called Mind Games. And we got more. The next song I drop will be, it's called Streets Get Cold with him. He's getting me more into my R&B bag and, kind of going through divorces, things like that. It's kind of opening me up to a different side of myself and being like, damn, like all these emotions are here. I don't have to suppress them anymore. Like they can see the light of day. So it's just, experimenting with a lot of new things, but plenty on the way. Solo project and a joint project with him. So
love that. All right. So we're flushing out this segment in real time. We don't really have a name for it. We're talking about one-on-one, just a bunch of weird, corny sports names about this whole Georgia album versus. So you need to pick one out of the two, and you can't say both. Outkast, AT versus Aquemini.
Oh, man.
I
might have to go AT just off of Two Dope Boys in a Cadillac.
One of the best.
I love that shit. I was just blaring that shit in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Ludacris back for the first time or Chicken and Beer?
I gotta go Chicken and Beer, man. It's crazy to think I was listening to that explicit album as a kid and wondering why I'm fucking having problems.
It's all Ludacris' fault.
Fuck you, Ludacris.
I got back for the first time for my 11th birthday. I remember I'm dead ass at the birthday party in our backyard. Somebody that had like the cooler mom that would just like whatever gift. And my friend's mom bought it for me back for the first time. I was 11 years old.
Oh my God. I feel old as fuck.
Pretty ass hoes. Yeah, no, I was in my bag.
Yelling that.
That was like Splash Waterfalls?
Splash Waterfalls was on, what's the second album? That was on Chicken and Beer.
Yeah. Chicken and Beer.
Back for the first time was one of my favorites. Jeezy TM 101 versus The Recession.
I gotta go 101, man.
Absolutely.
101, bro.
I agree, but you'd be surprised how many people would say this Recession. I'm with y'all, though.
Yeah.
I gotta go 101.
This is like an age-old debate. T.I. Trap Music versus King.
Fuck.
We're similar in age. I think I know what you're going to go with.
Fuck. King had Whatever You Like. Oh my God.
Oh no, Paper Trail, I think, had Whatever You Like.
What was on King?
Let me pull up the King track list. King had What You Know About That, Live in the Sky with Jamie Foxx was a huge record.
That? God damn, that was a hit in middle school.
I was definitely listening to Hello on the way to high school. I think with our age, though, we probably fucked with King more than most.
King was 24s?
I think, 24s was on... 24s was on the album before that.
So you said you
I might have to go King just off what you know about that.
I'm not mad
I
at it.
don't know, man. Trap music.
Trap music was fire.
Yeah, I'm a trap music guy.
We'll get a little younger. I think Dirty Sprite 2 across the board is Future's best album. We can all...
Yeah.
So I didn't want to just add that in the mix. 56 Nights versus Hendrix.
Bruh, Hendrix. Hendrix is so tough.
That's an R&B soul album.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be wondering nowadays, like, Future can just, like, go in the booth and do anything. It's going to be hard. Like, you can put it out. But, like, what he was experimenting and pushing himself to do on that album.
Yeah. Crazy.
Hendrix.
I feel like My Collection might be the most beautiful misogynistic record that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Like, they'll play that at a tribute and women will cry. Yeah. Young Thug, Jeffrey versus Barter 6.
Barter 6.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I'd go Barter 6 too. I think they're very neck and neck though. Jeffrey is fine.
I go Jeffrey over Barter 6.
All right, let's go R&B quickly. I don't think they've taken your Georgia ID yet. This is the one. Confessions versus 8701.
Don't breathe like that, like you on the line. It's not that hard of a question, man.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
I have lost friends over this debate.
Confessions.
No, absolutely.
Confessions.
It's closer than y'all think it is.
No, it's not.
That's why I breathe like that.
It's really not close.
It's much closer than y'all think.
Confessions is one of the greatest R&B albums ever.
I think you can make a case 8701 is right there too.
You can make a case, but we know undeniably Confessions is one of the greatest R&B albums ever.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
To me, the most underrated R&B artist from Atlanta, The Dream, Love Hate versus Love versus Money.
I don't know what all was on both of those albums.
This one's so tough, I wouldn't even know really where to go. But let me pull up the track list for you.
I think it's Love Hate, the one with Purple Kisses?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going Purple Kisses.
Throw It in the Bag was on one of them?
Yeah, but the remix was always better for us. Love Hate, I Love Your Girl, Falsetto, Shorty is the Shit.
Let's Love.
Living a Lie. Purple Kisses, Love Hate. Yeah, that shit is
playing in her hair. Yeah, now I'm going. I'm going.
Okay,
Love Hate.
But Love vs. Money, rocking that shit. Put It Down. Walking on the Moon.
Fuck.
Fancy.
Fancy might be one of the greatest R&B songs ever.
That's what I'm saying. This is a tough. This is a tough one.
Fancy is one of the greatest R&B songs ever.
Salute.
Yeah, but I'm still on the side of Love Hate. But Love vs. Money's right there too.
Yeah.
God damn. It's a lot of hits.
This has nothing to do with Georgia shit or music, but movie-wise, Any Given Sunday versus Friday Night Lights.
Friday Night Lights is the best football movie to me.
Oh, damn.
Really?
We about to argue to death now.
Any Given Sunday?
Any Given Sunday is...
Willie Beeman?
It was fire, but like Friday Night Lights put you in touch of like the origin of like coming up. Like if you came up,
it's a different side of it. Yeah, it's a different side.
Any Given Sunday, not a lot of niggas like got to that level.
Yeah, I get it.
Relate to that.
I get it.
To me,
Lawrence Taylor cut the car in half though. You didn't. That wasn't feeling that. Like that's LT Giants, baby. Come on, God.
That was a fire movie, but
yeah,
for something about Friday Night Lights. Just
I mean, it's a classic for sure. But Any Given Sunday to me was so ahead of its time, even on my bad, my parking.
Parking a motherfucker out here, huh?
He get alert and music when it's time to pay the meter.
Gotta make sure. To me, Any Given Sunday was so ahead of its time, like simply based off the Jamie Foxx Al Pacino scene when he goes to lunch after he's about to get, not cut, but he's not going to start for the playoffs. And Jamie breaks down what it's like to be a professional athlete versus the corporation shit. To me, that is what everyone even argues on the college level.
Right.
That shit was the smart, Oliver Stone smoked that shit. That was the smartest thing I've ever seen as far as what professional athletes go through. Like you telling me that I need to do it for the betterment of the team when I'm not, y'all are gonna get paid.
Down on family, but you're finna cut me.
Like
right.
Any given, not give us Friday Night Lights. Yeah, you in high school, it's all about the town and the team and the people next to you and building all that. When I get to the professional level, fuck y'all. Y'all are gonna waive me, trade me immediately, and you want me to give up my life for you? Nah, fuck that.
Right.
To me, that was one of the most brilliant movies that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Greatest football movie of all time, Longest Yard.
Wait, which one?
Adam Sandler, the newer one.
Okay.
Greatest football movie of all time. Nah, you wasn't feeling that?
It's a good movie.
I would put The Replacements over that.
Yeah, it's Keanu Reeves. Yeah.
A great football movie. I'm showing my age with this one. What was it? From the 80s, Wildcats. Was that the name of it?
It's born in 1990.
Y'all don't remember that movie?
It's a High School Musical, ain't it?
You said a musical? Yo, damn.
Wildcat, that's awful.
High School Musical. Zac
I think
Efron.
that was the name of it. Yeah, Wildcats. All right. Goldie Hawn, Wildcats. You never seen that movie? Watch that movie. It's a movie from the 80s, but it's a classic movie. Like, you'll like the movie. It's definitely before your time. I'm a little older than y'all, but
What about Rudy?
Don't get me started, man.
that's another classic football movie.
movie.
You don't like that movie?
You've heard me go on our rants on our podcast about Rudy.
I love Rudy.
Listen, I understand. I think it's amazing that he did all that and then got...
Darren, you look like you got choked up watching that movie. Did you get a little
So
teary
I have a song with Cyre where the intro is where Rudy's about to quit and the black janitor was like telling him like you try to do that for your dad and do that for what? Like if you ain't I had that clip in the beginning, so that was
Rudy's a classic, man.
No, it's a classic. It's just a classic for that year of his life. Like, listen,
we're not following it for
Vince
his
Vaughn,
life.
whatever his character ended up being, he was still, even though he's an asshole, he was the All-American that was going to go on to the NFL and do great things. Rudy had a cool semester and then became a motivational speaker. That motherfucker didn't do shit with his life afterwards. I get it. You wanted to get fucked over by the college system so badly that you did all that work in a factory, get your head blown off, everything, just so you could give Notre Dame $100,000 a year. Stupidest movie of all time.
I thought it was one of the most inspirational movies of all time.
It's inspirational for dumb shit. I loved his drive and his focus and the heart that he had. I respect that. It was in all the wrong places.
Check out Wildcats.
Wildcats, bet.
You like that movie?
Not Rudy.
I did a list of like 75 things at the top of 2025 for music predictions that I think I'm 4 for 4 already. Do you have any music predictions for 2025?
Y'all fuck with Saba?
Of course.
Yeah.
I need the Saba No ID project.
Okay.
Yeah, they just put out a record on Friday.
Yeah, I've been spinning that shit. Like, I don't really have any. I like to just see shit unfold, bro. Like, I love like the mystery and just like watching shit happen. I don't really know what's gonna happen at all. I'm interested to see what Drake does.
Well, I mean,
I'm still listening to Drake's old music. I mean, I know people are getting him up out of there, but
everybody
that doesn't really.
Everybody's still listening.
Well, I mean, by the time they hear this, I think tomorrow will be the P&D Drake album.
Okay.
That's about to come out. I don't know where I'm at with that. I think they may go too much to the core fan base where the masses won't really fuck with it, which I don't really care. I love old P&D cuts, and I think that's the route that they're going to go. I don't know if we're going to get much of what the masses want to hear as far as Drake addressing shit. I think we're just going to get some great fucking R&B shit. And
I want to see him just like what the next chapter of his solo career, because like I still want to hear what he got. He's still tough. Like all that shit aside, like I still want to hear what he got to say.
Yeah. Besides Saba, who I love, what else you listening to?
I fuck with Viking by Saw Baby for some reason.
Okay.
It's a great song. But other than that, there's a band called Krungbin. It's like an alternative band.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
They just won a Grammy, I think, too.
Bruh. Yeah. Cyre's new project got a couple good ones.
Shout out to Cyre, that's my guy.
Somehow I ended up on Jesus Piece. I've been listening to Name Me King.
The Game album?
Yeah.
Oh, it's underrated.
Heavy rotation.
I don't think there's a skip on that album. Jesus Piece is crazy.
And Jack Harlow, Tranquility.
Okay.
That's a banger.
I've been listening to, it's crazy. Kodak Black put out a project for Christmas. And I've been listening to that. Like,
is it Christmas theme?
I didn't even know he dropped.
And it's like, it's short. It's maybe 7 records. 7 to 8.
What is he for? Like deck the halls with fentanyl? Like what is he rapping about?
No, he's not decking the halls with fentanyl. But it's some joints on there that I'm like, damn, like Yak put out a nice little
I
project.
fuck with Kodak. I think he could really rap too.
No, he put out
once
a
you
nice.
get past his accent.
He put out a nice project around Christmas.
just
Absolutely.
curious what that.
Check it out.
I cannot get past Deck the Halls with fentanyl. It's nuts.
And you shouldn't deck the halls with fentanyl. Let's put that out.
Kodak would definitely
Please
deck the halls
don't.
with fentanyl.
Please don't. Take it from me.
I saw.
Take it from me.
Take it from Darren Waller.
Take it from me.
I saw a video.
Do not.
It's this guy online that's doing this thing where he's taking rolls of duct tape and he's wrapping it around like 2 poles and he's trying to run through it. So he's seeing how many rolls he can run through. So he goes 10, he gets through that easy, 20 easy. So he gets up to 100 rolls of duct tape that he wraps between 2 poles and tries to run through the tape. And he tried to run through 100 rolls. It knocked him back. He hit his head on the pole, caught a concussion. So they called an ambulance. So he's in the car. He's like, yeah, so what are y'all going to give me? Y'all take him to. He said, man, we just probably give you some fentanyl. He was like, fent? Like,
oh, I seen that clip. It was a dude in the hospital before. She was like, yeah, we just got you on some fentanyl. He was like emotional. He said, fent?
yeah, like you hear that. You're like, nah, I'm cool. I think I'm all right. I'll get up.
Awful advertising too, because anyone that's looking for fentanyl be like, wait, I just got to run my head into a pole?
Yeah, no, I'm cool.
Hell no.
This was great, man. Thank you so much for coming through.
Darren,
Also appreciate all the support.
It's a pleasure to finally meet you. We definitely got to do this again during once the NFL season kicks back off, so we could talk some shit about some players that we don't know nothing about because Rory and Maul don't know ball. But fuck it, we sitting here with Darren.
We're gonna do some film. We got to do like a film breakdown.
Want to break down some film?
See y'all's cover. If y'all know coverages. If y'all know
listen, you talking to a guy,
or routes.
I stopped playing Madden because it got too technical. Like once you told me like, yo, if you press the button too hard, he's gonna throw it into the ground. I was like, all right, I'm done. Like I can't do this shit no more. So I don't know no fucking routes. All I know is a few players, and I know when you should throw the ball. I don't look at coverage.
Which is when
when
he's open.
When the receiver, when y'all running, y'all do this thing right here, like kind of let the quarterback know. Like let it go. Yeah,
he's cooked. Let's go.
That's all I know.
Throwing deuces out the window.
When he do this, get it to him. Like just throw it.
Yeah, no, we can have a session. I could tell y'all like why people do certain things, why this coverage is happening, why.
Yeah, no, we love that.
Yeah, scheme a
See
little
if I
bit.
can find some of my high school footage.
Yeah.
So then y'all can know ball and tell motherfuckers what's what.
Thank you, man.
I know cover 3.
Yeah.
I know cover 2. I know cover 1.
Yeah, I play Madden too. I know all of that coverage too. So
there you go.
It's not the same.
I played high school football.
What about fire zone blitz?
I mean, somebody gonna blitz.
That sound like the quarterback about to get hurt. That's the fire zone. It sound like 2 dudes just coming from here. I think I saw it. I remember that.
Fire zone is you have a blitzer, like say like the nickel's blitzing, but somebody's dropping, so it confuses. It's the same number of people that will be rushing on a normal pass rush, but they're changing. They're trying to confuse the defense. Like you ever see like a defensive end drop into coverage?
Yes.
They're confusing the offensive line because usually they'll slide this way, but then they'll be like, oh shit, that's where you see somebody just running unblocked.
Okay.
That's the hardest shit in football to me.
Fire blitz.
Offensive lines picking up those blitz and stunts.
Okay.
We'll get there.
Got you.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
We're getting there.
That's Darren Waller. We appreciate you, my brother, and we'll talk to you soon.
For sure.